Okay, so this is video 2. And we're gonna do reviewing of the product and the power rules that we learned last week. Simplify the expression with the exponents. So we still have to remember order of operations. And order of operations says that we do parentheses first. So we have to take care of this part here. So we have negative 4x times, and we're gonna use the power rule right here. So 3 times 2 is 6. So we're gonna have x to the 6th power. And remember that there's a little one right here. Now we're gonna use the product rule to finish this off. So we're gonna have negative 4x to the 7th power. Because you add 1 plus 6, that's gonna give you 7. And that's your final answer. Remember that if you ever find any mistakes with my video, please make sure to correct your answer. And if you let me know, maybe I can give you a little prize for finding the mistake and being alert. So remember, order of operations says to do parentheses first. So we're going to take care of this business here first. So this is 6 to the 1st power being squared. So that's going to be 1 times 2 power to a power rule. Means you multiply 1 times 2. Z, 4 times 2 is 8, times z to the 3rd power. That's just this right there. We're just going to square the 6 to get 36, z, and we're going to add exponents. Now we're going to use the product rule. 8 plus 3 is 11, so it's 36 z to the 11th power. Okay, moving on. So what does order of operations say first? To do parentheses. So we got to take care of this business right here. We're just going to bring down the 4x times, and we have a negative x, but it's inside the parentheses. So we have to keep it inside the parentheses. And then we have x to the 3rd squared. So that's going to be power to a power you multiply. Here, remember that this x has a 1. So it's 1 times 2 is 2. But we have to keep it inside the parentheses. Now for this, I am going to expand it so that you guys can see what's going on. 4x times negative x squared means negative x times negative x times x to the 6th. And you know that a negative times a negative, that's a positive. So 4x times x squared times x to the 6th. If you want to skip this step, you should know that if this is in parentheses and you're squaring it, it's going to become a positive x. And so now we're going to put a little one right here. Now we're going to use a product rule where you add all the exponents. So we're going to have 4x, 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 6 is 9. So we're going to have 4x to the 9th power, and that will be your answer. Okay. So in this problem, you have to do the parentheses first. So this group and this group. So remember, this has a 1 as an exponent. So 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. And then this is going to be y to the 6th because 3 times 2 is 6. 5 cubed, you put that in the calculator. It's going to be 125. It's 5 times 5 times 5. And you have y. You're going to add these two exponents. That's going to be 6 plus 6, which is 12. So your answer is going to be 125y to the 12th power. So that was a review from last week, what we did, the product rule and the power rule. And we're using both of them to get the most simplified expression. We're going to do a first semester review. And that is finding the rate of change between points, which is just finding the slope with the slope formula, which is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So the first thing we're going to do here, we're going to label the 2 points. So this is your first point. Remember, a point is always xy. And you can always remember in the alphabet, the x comes first and then the y. So since that's the first point, we're going to use 1 right there. This one's the second one. So we're going to use those. So that means negative 2 is your x1, 1 is your y1, 1 is your x2, and negative 3 is your y2. We're going to use this formula right here to solve for m, or the rate of change. So you're going to do negative 3 take away, because it has a takeaway in the formula, 1, over 1 take away a negative 2. So many kids got finding the slope problem wrong on the midterm because they only put 1 minus sign, but you have the subtraction sign that goes right there, and then that's a negative. So negative 3 minus 1 is a negative 4. Then when you have 2 minuses in a row, they become a plus. So that's going to be 1 plus 2, which is 3. That doesn't reduce or anything, so we're just going to, and 3 does not divide 4, so we're just going to leave it as negative 3/4. This one's going to be x1, y1, x2, y2. We're going to plug it into the formula. So that's 4 minus 1, so 4 take away 1, over 2 take away a negative 2. So 4 take away 1 is 3. 2 minuses become plus. 2 plus 2 is 4. And your answer is 3/4. Now, many of you missed these two types of problems on the midterm because you weren't careful in using the formula. And a lot of you guys missed this problem, finding the rate of change between an interval given the graph or a table of values, because you really didn't understand what was going on. So we want the rate of change between 2 and 4. So here's 2 and here's 4. We want to know the slope between these two intervals. So we're given 2 points here. We're given 2, 4, and 4, 16. So we're going to just label these as x1, y, and it doesn't matter which one comes first and which one comes second. So we're just going to use our rate of change. So we're going to do the y, 16 take away 4, divided by 4 take away 2, and 16 take away 4 is 12, 4 take away 2 is 2. You divide these two, you get 6. So the rate of change is 6 units. So hopefully you have a wonderful day and you're able to finish your worksheet that you have to do next. Thank you for supporting me in this, and hopefully you guys can become really, really awesome in math and not have to worry about anything.